Now, it's been a very hectic 2 weeks for hip-hop to say the least. A lot of very tragic events have went down. Some of them I've talked about, some of them I haven't. But man, what is really going on with hip-hop right now? I definitely have a thing or two to say about this, so yeah. Let's talk about it. Now, the very unfortunate passing of King Von was for sure something that shook up the entire rap game. It was also kind of the start of this entire madness that we're going to talk about right now. But senseless violence, that's what the entire King Von situation could be narrowed down to. It was just another night for him and his guys. They of course had, as it was reported, an altercation with Quando Rondo's team, and that unfortunately ended with King Von passing away. Just a couple days later though, after this King Von situation, we lost another rapper, Dallas, Texas rapper Mo3 to be specific. 28-year-old Mo3 got gunned down on a Dallas freeway November 11th. He was driving on a Dallas interstate when a dark colored car pulled up close to him. A man got out, started approaching Mo3's car. Mo3 then got out of his car and started running away from the trigger man, who fired shots at him, and that's where this ends. I actually hadn't heard about him until this very unfortunate situation, but I checked out his music and the man made some great music. Very sad that it had to end this way because he was highly established in Dallas, had a really dope movement going for himself as far as I can see, and this is how his chapter unfortunately ended. A couple days after this though, Boosie actually took a bullet to the leg. Boosie pulled up to a mall located in Dallas in his Sprinter van, and at some point someone opened fire on the vehicle. He took one to the leg, was rushed to the hospital, and luckily his injuries weren't life-threatening, thank God. Now, a day after this went down, New York rapper Benny the Butcher was shot in Houston during a robbery. He was sitting in his car at a Houston Walmart when he was then approached by 5 guys in another vehicle who tried to force him to hand over his jewelry. He was hesitant on doing that. One thing led to another. He took a bullet to the leg, and there was that. A crazy amount of violence is popping off in hip-hop right now, as you can clearly see, right? Ain't nobody safe out here. That's the scary part. I think this is just becoming the new normal. The amount of artists we've lost throughout the years, but especially these past 3 years, is out of this world. A lot of these rappers are almost in a constant state of fear because of what is happening to their peers, and fans are talking about protect this rapper and that rapper and that rapper because they're afraid something is going to happen to them. And I don't blame anyone for having those thoughts. At this point, we've seen it all. How bad can it actually get? I'm asking myself, why is all this going on though? Why? That's what we need to talk about, because no other genre is experiencing this kind of consistent non-stop trauma. This is only going on in hip-hop. I don't hear about no country artists getting gunned down in broad daylight. Not that I want to, obviously, just an observation. Let's hit on a really essential part about this conversation, and it's the fact that this is only happening to black artists in hip-hop. That's the elephant in the room a lot of people don't want to address because it is a sensitive topic, and DJ Ghost actually dropped some major gems on this recently.
I say this all the time. Black people is the only millionaires you see beefing with each other and wanting to kill each other, bro. It don't make no sense to me. I don't see Mark Zuckerberg and just all these other billionaires, bro. They not beefing with each other like this. Rappers beef with people that look like them. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be 100. You got a rapper that's out here with all his jewelry on, dressing a certain type of way, talk a certain type of way, and make a certain type of music. And it's another rapper that's just like that, he gonna beef with him. But if you got a rapper that's black, and this fool wear sandals, he all out of shape, he only like a certain type of women, he ain't no gangster, he don't never claim to be, you will never beef with him in your life. So to me, now I'm looking at that like niggas just hating they self. You know what I'm saying? I'm only beefing with the nigga that look like me. You hating yourself, bro.
Shout out to the boy Ghost, man, always dropping jewels. He nailed that conversation. Like Ghost said, you're hating yourself, so it's self-hate that comes into the equation when we're having this entire discussion. Let's not just look at everything that's going on in hip-hop head on. Let's address the deeper issue. I'm talking about the real deep issue here, man. I'm talking about the jealousy, envy, and resentment brothers feel towards each other because he has what you don't have. He has the women, he has the jewelry, he's in a Rolls Royce. You don't have that. His success is a direct reflection of what you don't have, and since you're not willing to get yours, you're gonna take the man's life so he can't have his. See what kind of messed up mentality that is? This is exactly why the rappers should move out of their city, saying is even a thing. Even though a lot of them have lost their lives in other cities, yes, the fact is the majority do end up getting smoked in their own city.
And it's always like that. Wherever you from, you will get hated the most. You know, most rappers die in their own city, man. It's a fact.
It's really just an ongoing epidemic, man, and I think we forget that this has been going on since the 90s. It ain't nothing new, but it's for sure been happening way more these past few years. What I'm asking myself though is, will there be an end to the madness? I think hip-hop fans, and most importantly of all, these rappers, are exhausted. Imagine being in a position like Ski Mask where you've essentially lost both of your best friends back to back.
The information, what I just heard, was that he's passed.
I think the thing that really hurts the most is seeing the aftermath of these unfortunate passings, you know, kind of like that Ski Mask reaction. Not only are the people close to these artists mourning, but an entire generation of kids are constantly having to deal with all their role models perishing in front of their eyes. Off the top of my head, the only thing that's really gonna be helping, if you ask me, is, you know, rappers just moving smarter, man. Obviously, that only puts a band-aid on the symptoms. It doesn't solve or cure anything at all. On the other hand, the violence is very prominent in the music. I think we all know that. I'm not even gonna say stop rapping about violence. That's never gonna stop. Also, even though that's what it is, that's the life a lot of these artists come from. So at the end of the day, it is really their truth that they're telling. I think rappers just have to come to the realization that this is what comes with rapping about these things. So you gotta move smarter, you gotta move harder, you have to be hyper aware of not only your surroundings, but you also have to be extra mindful of what you post on social media. That's unfortunately one of the things that led to Pop Smoke going down. I'm talking about that Facebook post of the Amiri care package he received where the location was clearly visible, and also that picture his homie posted in front of the house and the other multiple Instagram stories Pop Smoke posted of the house he was staying at. The thing about the whole violence thing in hip-hop though, it's unfortunately deeply ingrained in the genre. So is the drugs as well. Regarding the drugs, a lot of these rappers are just going through it mentally, man, and the medication is the only thing that's helping them cope. So mentally they're not okay. They're monetizing their pain through their records. They're artists, so that's obvious. People are loving it and sometimes even romanticizing it, and the cycle continues. The same thing could be said about the violence conversation. Rappers are rapping about it, we're listening to it, which means it's what people want to hear. They keep on doing it, and that cycle continues as well. I think it's when it goes beyond just rapping and real bodies are dropping left and right is when we all start contemplating what is really going on. Polo G actually said something on Twitter the other day regarding fans instigating beefs between rappers, which I thought was so true. There's a big disconnect between hip-hop listeners and the real lives, you know, the artists that are being affected by these tragic events. For the fans, it's entertainment, but it's actually a way of life for these artists. That's why I don't think saying just stop rapping about violence is even a good argument. That's the only thing a lot of these guys know. How could you knock them for telling their truth? Now, don't get it twisted. It is their responsibility to look out for themselves because they keep on choosing that way of life, despite the fact that they actually have a way out because they got the money now, which means they got the means to get out. But strangely enough, man, I think just the getting out is probably the hardest part for a lot of them. Mentally, they're still stuck in their old ways, while physically they're in a completely different universe due to their blessings. So there's a disconnect that they keep on facing in their journey. And keep in mind, they're getting heavy rewards in terms of monetary gain, so why should they stop? They're making their way, they're hustling, they're making money, they're feeding their families, so might as well keep going. I don't even want to say that these are dark times in hip-hop because it's been like this for a while, but I do think that the darkness and overall negative energy is for sure intensifying, mainly due to the senseless violence going on in our culture. Is it gonna stop? I have absolutely no clue, but I do want to be optimistic for the future and hope that all these tragic events that keep on happening can serve as some kind of lesson to both artists and fans. But yeah, what's going on with hip-hop? The epidemic continues, I guess. These last 2 weeks in hip-hop have been a little bit too rough, I ain't even gonna lie, but I think we all can agree on that. What do you think about everything that's currently going on in the rap game? Definitely let me know in the comment section below and let's have a discussion about this.